Hello everyone and welcome to the AOR PC Split 2. It's the Chinese Grand Prix. I'm joined by mpracing. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, so this track, 16 turns, 5.5 kilometers, 28 laps. I think it's going to be a good race. It's one of the longer tracks on the calendar, with the first corner and the 13th corner being very challenging for the drivers. MP, how do you think it's going to pan out?
I think it's going to be an interesting race. Lots of competitive drivers, of course, just like in the last two races. But yeah, we have to see. It's not a favorite track of a lot of drivers. But yeah, we have to see. It's going to be an interesting race.
Yeah, I mean, the tyre options are the softs, mediums, inters and wets, and being China, I wouldn't be surprised if the drivers have to get out the inters and wets as well. Zomaka won in Malaysia, so that sort of kicked off his season after a poor result in Australia, so yeah. Anyway, it's time to go to Ryan, L83 for the qualifying comparison.
Welcome to this qualifying comparison. We have AOR Hamish on the left and Daisania on the right to give us a lap of the Shanghai International Circuit. Using the first of the DRS zones, they're going to be braking into turn 1, which is a completely flat right-hander, dropping it down the gears into first gear. Daisania's gone straight to first, while Hamish drops it slowly down the gears as he comes into turn 3 and 4. Getting a nice exit is essential for this part of the lap, where Hamish is using half his curves already. As you're going to see the difference in between the two, as he's slightly ahead than Daisania at this stage, as they're going to be braking into turn 6, both hitting the apex there. Hamish has got traffic up ahead of him, which will distract him a bit, while Daisania has got none completely. Going through turn 7, it's completely flat in 6th gear, about 170 miles an hour. They're going to be braking into turn 8, dropping it down the gears to 4th, going into turn 9, dropping it down to 1st. Just that Hamish took a bit more curb than Daisania, but has a big moment out of the corner, which will cost him a bit of time, but counters it with the rest of his curves. Going to be braking at this stage. Now you can see he's still up on Daisania by about 0.3 of a second. Going into turn 11, a key corner this one, as Daisania takes a bit of curb which will hinder his exit speed. Going through turn 13, completely flat through this section as they go on to the longest straight on the calendar, as they're going to be going over 200 miles an hour as the second DRS line is enabled for these drivers. And now they're going to be heavy braking now into turn 14, braking just at the 100 meter board does Hamish. Going to be dropping it down, hitting the apexes there beautifully, getting a better exit just Hamish does. Going into turn 16, the final corner of this lap, and both take a nice line, but Hamish will take pole position with a 133.395 and Daisania will get a 133.613. We are in for an intriguing race here at the Shanghai International Circuit, and now let's head it over now for the qualifying rundown.
Thank you, Ryan, for the qualifying comparison. In first and pole, we have Hamish, so 133.395. In second, we have Daisania. In the second, Sauber Ferrari, 0.2 off the pace. That's a front row lockout, of course, by Sauber, so let's see if they can get some solid points in the race. In third, we have DH1806 in the first Caterham, 0.4 off the pace. In fourth, we have Zephyr in the first Torosso. In fifth, we have Chasm. Sixth, Peck in the second, Williams. That's a good qualifying, or that's his best qualifying to date. In seventh, we have another poor qualifying by Zomaka. He's 0.9 off the pace. In eighth, we have Chicane, who's almost second off the pace. In ninth, we have Matiege in the second Torosso. In 10th, Krista, Sorberto, mpracing, Tarkin Biaz, and very poor qualifying by both Mercedes drivers. We have Kiku and Silver Arrow. Of course, you'll notice that it isn't a poor qualifying. Kiku unfortunately got disconnected in qualifying. He'll be racing during the race. Silver Arrow got a lag hit coming out of the pit by Hamish, so that gave him a 10th place penalty. He did in fact finish 10th after qualifying, but of course he dropped 10 places. All the drivers starting on the soft tyres and for the race. So the tyre options are the softs and mediums, inters and wets. We may see the drivers go through all four of those compounds in the race. Anyway, it's back for the main commentators for the race. Hello everyone, it's a Chinese Grand Prix with your commentators Hamish and MP Racing. We've got no percent chance of rain. MP, well, the drivers lineup for this race, I think it's going to be quite entertaining coming into turn 1, so yeah.
Yeah, also replacement for artist this race, Dai in
Daisanya, I think.
I pronounced
Daisanya,
it
yeah,
completely wrong,
Okay, good
but
luck.
sorry for that. But the lights are on. We got 5 lights, and we are away on board with Chasmer, and he has quite a good start. He's gaining a little bit on Zephyr and on DH in front. Here on board with Silver Arrow, starting from last place because of incident in Qualy. Well, that was not his fault, but yeah, this game is like that.
Yeah.
We're on board with India and Matthäus here. Behind Sever, his teammate, and Zomaker. It's really close. And now on board with Silver, who maybe can overtake his teammate Kiku. And looks like he is doing that. Well, isn't he? A little bit of contact ahead of with MP Racing and Tarkin. And Silver Arrow just slips through.
Yeah, he gained about 3 possessions there, just under braking, so good start for Silver. I don't think Kiku's going to be fighting too much, being his teammate. Anyway, talking about teammate, Chicane is behind his teammate Krista, and he's going to try around the outside, possibly into turn 12, I think this is. It's a horrible corner. It might even be not turn 12, whichever before that, turn 11. So anyway, we have Zephyr. Let's see if Chicane can get a good exit. It's quite easy to get a good overtaking. It's a good overtaking, really, this straight. On board with Peck now, behind Krista in 9th. So see if Peck can move up the rankings. And Krista's got quite a bit of lag actually for Peck. And I think he has that for quite a few drivers. Anyway, we're almost 3-4 abreast going here, and thank God Peck didn't go too far forward. Otherwise, I think we could have seen an incident.
Yeah, there was a bit of contact there, and of course with the lag, it's a bit dangerous to. You don't really know where the cars are, but as we are on board with Chasmer now, he's really close to the Sauber in front, and he's looking to get past. And he gained actually a position in the start, I think, from P5 to 4. Don't know exactly if I'm right, but yeah, we will see if he can pass the Sauber. As we know, are on board with Silver Arrows already in P10 in the battle with Peck, and he gets the move done. Is now behind Sobeto in the McLaren, as we are running on board with Peck's point of view. And yeah, you can see just Silver Arrow past him, and a little bit of battling in front Silver Arrow as well. But the pack is still really close, except for 2 drivers. I think that's our DH and Zomaker, who were getting away, as now MP Racing is trying the outside of pack. And will he get the move done enough traction? Yes, indeed. He's up to P12 after a quite poor qualifying again, just like Malaysia. If we now on board with Hamish in 2nd position. He dropped the place from the start. But yeah.
Yeah, quite interesting there. Both Sauber drivers have lost a position to DH, so I think he must have some either good race pace or oh dear.
Oh
Dear.
Peck just made a really big braking mistake.
Yeah, very lucky actually not to hit someone there. So well avoided, Peck.
Yeah.
It was very unfortunate that he locked up, but he did do well to not hit anyone. And Silver's hungry for more positions up into P9. This is an awesome start from Silver. He's already gained 6 places off the start. So yeah, let's. It'll be interesting to see how many more he can gain. Behind Sorberto now in 8th. So yeah, a bit about this track. It's not brilliant on tyres. I think lap 5 is the optimal time to come in, or lap 4 or 5.
On options, yeah, lap 5.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting what strategies these drivers get. So yeah.
Yeah, on board with Matthäus. He's behind Krister, looking to get the pass. But it depends on when he's getting the chance, of course. And yeah, still the pack is quite close, as you see on the minimap as well. Everyone is still within a second almost. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting race, I think. On board with Chicane now. He's behind Zephyr, and he might will get the arrested lap 3. So I think he can get a good move going to rich mix, and he will of course have a lot more speed down the straight, as there is a bit of lag from Sever, quite a bit as well. He was ghosting into Chicane's cockpit, and well, Chicane just gets past, moved on, and is now behind the Sauber of Yesinia, if I pronounce it right. Again, sorry if I didn't.
Yeah, I think that's about right. So, sorry, Dysinia, if that's not your name, we apologise. However, I think Zephyr went into the pits there.
Yeah, 2 cars actually in the pits. I think Zephyr and I don't know the second. No, 3 cars. I think on the mini map you can see it now.
Yeah, so Dysinia now behind Chasm. Sorry, MP. So Dysinia behind Chasm R in third. So that's a pretty good bit. I know this isn't Chaz's favourite track. In fact, he really does not like this track. So I reckon he said before the race, if he got a top 5 finish, it would be basically like a win for him, because yeah, I know he doesn't like this track. So anyway, we've got Dysinia, like I said, behind Chaz for third place. Is he going to be able to pick up the first of the podium positions? This is the guy who started second, so he's lost 2 positions. On board now with Silver Arrow, possibly going to have a go on Sorberto, and he is, and I think he's passed him. He's going to have the inside now for turn 13, and yes, he has. I don't think he's going to get a good enough run though to have a go on Chicane.
He has some cars left to defend as well for the DRS of Sorberto and of course the slipstream. But Chicane is a bit too far away, and there you can see DRS for Silver, but Sorberto is beside him, so it's a matter who breaks latest, and Silver does. So that's moved on for Silver. He gained 10 or 9 positions. There were 15 people, so 9 positions already to P6. As you can see, 2 cars are going into the pits, including Chicane and the guy in front, Chasmer, and I think Kiku as well. So we have to see who has the best pit stop, and maybe some people will be jumped.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Chicane comes out of his pits now in 11th. On board of Hamish, who's regained the lead. That's after DH pitted. So DH is going to hope to sort of extend his lead, and you can just see Hamish's tyres aren't in the best shape. However, he's got a buffer of 2.4 seconds. So yeah, now this is quite interesting now. What do the Sauber's drivers do? Do they come together and stack, or do they lose a load of time because one of them's going to have to carry on?
I think, yeah, one of them will carry on, yeah, if they want to get some good points and not hold each other up. Of course, we saw in race 8 with Peck. He was in the pits after Chesmer on the same lap, and that was a pit stop of like 12 seconds, so that was just dreadful. But it looks like Yesinia has his tires a bit in a better shape. Bit more orange than Hamish's red tires, and he gets past as we lost connection to Crystal. That's bad luck for him, and I think it's his 3rd disconnection in the whole season already, as Yesinia is doing Hamilton, but he's going into the pits just like Hamish, so it will be interesting how fast his pit stop will go. Yeah, both Saubers now side by side into the pits, and there they you're in your teammate for that.
Yeah, so that is not a good stop for Hamish for sure. That must have lost him a good chunk of time there, and it wasn't really a pit stop
5.5 seconds.
So, oh dear, and you can see it came out in 14th from 2nd to 14th just by staying out 1 extra lap. So that's how bad the tyres are around this track. Anyway, I think is he going to have a go on Peck? I think that is Peck on his on the left hand side, and he has got Peck. Let's see where he brakes. All braking very late, just before the 100 metres. That's almost a qualifying braking point, and almost taking a couple of stabs there, trying to turn into that corner, and looks like he's pulling away now from Peck on those fresh tyres.
indeed, as we now are on board with the scene, behind chicane, on the fresher tire, of course. The prime tire is the best for here, as we are a little bit further in this lap with chicane. There's a gap of 1 second now, so chicane should be safe for the DRS zone. It's a really small gap from 1 second, by the way, but I think he should be safe going to rich mix and use all of his cars, I think. Yes, indeed. And on board in lap 7 now with the DH, still behind chicane, and he's gaining a lot in these 2 corners. I have no idea what they were called, but that doesn't really matter.
Yeah. It's just those corners, the annoying ones, let's call them.
Yeah. But we are on lap 6 again, and now lap 7. It's a little bit of an editing mistake, I think. But yeah, well, lap 7 again with chicane. And he's now still behind, in front of Yesenia, who's really close. And yeah, he will have DRS now for the DRS zone, of course, but
Yeah, I made a bad strategy call, came in lap 5.
as we now are in lap 8 with Silver Arrow, he's going to pit, and he will rejoin somewhere in the top 10 as chicane is now coming across, is gaining a bit on the group of fighting cars ahead. Well, actually 2 cars, I think that's Kiku and the Williams, I'm not sure. But
Yes,
it looks like
Kiku
Sarah
and Chaz, I think.
is now just overtaking chicane, with DRS, of course, a big advantage on the straight. And that's moved on for him, as there is a Ferrari's going really wide. That was Kiku indeed. And don't know if there was contact or something like that, but that gains Yesenia 2 positions, and lucky for him. Now with Silver Arrow on board behind MP Racing, he's looking for a move as well, and we have a bit of we have 4 cars here battling for a position, and hopefully we can hopefully he can overtake them all soon. Of course, he's looking for points, so he needs to, and as he's going already on the inside of MP Racing, he will have DRS as well, and well, that's pretty much already moved on. That's P8 for Silver already.
Now he just has to be careful that he doesn't lock up, and he hasn't. It's so easy to lock up, especially with DRS and a relatively heavy car. It's so easy to lock up there. Anyway, on board now with Daisanya. He's behind Chaz in 4th, so let's see if he's not going to try and move into turn 1, is he? No, I don't think he is. However, he has got the inside line. And no, he doesn't quite have the pace on Chaz to be able to get that move done, and there's a Toros ahead of him, and I think that's Mathiej. I think that's how you pronounce it, I'm not sure.
Yeah, Mathias.
So I'm going to call you Mathias now. And Mathias is behind Caterham, which is Zomaker, I think. It's either Zomaker or DH, I think it's Zomaker though. So yeah, and Daisanya's in 5th, starting from 2nd, so it's not been a brilliant race for him.
And now on board with chicane, and you can see Soberto is right behind him, and also a Ferrari, I think that's Silver Arrow. And yeah, Silver Arrow is maybe has a good run on both of them, with Slipstream and DRS, and it looks like there is MP Racing also behind Silver Arrow, but he's a bit further away. We can already see Soberto is really close, and he will have, of course, the DRS, and chicane uses all of his cars to defend, and he on board with Silver Arrow, and you can see DRS, but he's not gaining enough to get the position, and Soberto is going for the inside.
What was that?
But no, yes, he is getting the position, run a little bit wide, and there we have several off track, and that gains Silver Arrow 3. Well,
yeah, 3 positions, I think.
Yeah, into P5, so that's a really nice move. Just waiting for a mistake of other people and then taking the position, but that's really good. And there is again contact with chicane and Sever in the first corner of lap 11, And Mateus is going up the outside here of chicane, or is it MP Racing? No, it's chicane, sorry. But well, just he didn't have the grab to manage the overtake, but he will have the inside for the upcoming corner here, and that's move done for him. So that's nice, really nice.
Yeah, good driving there by Mateus. No contact between him and chicane, so well done to him. Hamish is now in 11th place behind Zephyr, so he's going to be wanting to pass him quickly. Coming onto the DRS straight, he's probably going to... Yeah, he's probably going to have DRS, so let's see if he can overtake Zephyr. He's already gaining in on him. Zephyr's got a tiny bit of lag, and Hamish didn't have DRS. We're not going to see that move being done because Chicane and Sorberto are fighting, and we can see coming into the breaking point, Hamish has taken Zephyr on the inside, and does he keep it? He doesn't want to pull across yet because otherwise he's going to cut off Zephyr, and you can see Hamish going wide. And the reason for that is that you might have heard Zephyr saying in TeamSpeak he was actually coming into the pits then, so that's why Hamish took quite an adventurous line. As we take a look at the standings.
The race director from chicane there, but quite nice to see. As now Silver Arrow is behind Dacinia and is looking for a move, but his tires are, well, decent to do I think 2 or 1 laps. What do you think, Hamish?
Yeah, I'd say about another 1 or 2 laps, I reckon. Silver Arrow, I'd be surprised if he comes in now because I suspect he's going for a 3 stop. It's very unlikely that you're going to get a 2 stop, and a 4 stop I think is just indeed. Not, unless you've got the outright pace. I don't think a 4 stop's the right strategy, as we see Daisanya going quite wide there, and is that Chaz who's going to be get a run? And no, he isn't. Does he come to the pits? No, he doesn't.
What about the cars ahead? Yeah, someone was going to pit. I think that was Jasper. As we are on board with Hamish, it's lap 20 already, so we skip quite far ahead. But looks like he's under pressure a bit from Sobeto, who's really close in that DRS, but nothing happened on the straight there. So he's going to rear brake bias. Because of course Hamish is on the pad, so that's a bit harder to get the car slowed down without locking up. As he made a little bit of a gap with Sobeto through the final corner. He has a really nice line through the first corner, and of course if you go too wide it will cost you too much time. If you go too much on the inside that will cost you time as well, so it's quite a tricky corner. As he gets a pretty nice run to there, and I think created a gap around half a second there. As we are on board with Peck and P13, of course lost some time with that incident on the straight where he broke too late, but he's chased by Tarkan. But I think Tarkan is well, too far ahead to get really a move into the upcoming corners, but we have to see, maybe something interesting will happen, but I don't really think so. As we see Zephyr, well, now we see Mateus. He's in second as well, going to Rich Mix, I suppose. I don't know that language, but
I think it's
that's
Polish.
Rich Mix. Yeah, it was a Rich Mix, and as you see, Hamish is behind him in P3, but all the top 3 has to do, I think, a stop now in the upcoming laps. So yeah, that would be interesting to see where they rejoin. As Hamish there has run really wide. I just saw it on
locking up, I think.
screen on the top left screen. And he's going into the pits as well on lap 21. So it's gonna be interesting as we are on board with Chicane. MP Racing is behind him, but a lot of seconds behind. So he's not really under pressure of anything. And he's going into P7. I don't know if he will finish the race on the tires, but yeah, we have to see. If we are on board with Silver Arrow into P5, gained 10 positions. So a stunning race from him, really good. As Jasmer is gaining a bit, but just not enough to get a position.
Yeah, so Chaz, as you can see, gaining quite a lot on silver on the in the braking zone. Let's see if Chaz does get DRS now, and he gets the fastest lap, a 35.1. So good lap from him. Taking a nice wide line there is Chaz, getting it nicely turned in as well. This is a quite a good point for overtaking this sort of first corner, especially if the car ahead of you goes wide just a tiny bit on the exit of turn 1. It's very easy to be able to just sneak your car down the inside and still gaining on silver, but not able to make the overtaking move stick. As we're on with Mateus now. Is he going to be coming into the pits? Yes, he is. Into the pits. Let's see if he locks up. No, he doesn't. Good pit entry now. So he was in second. He's now going to move down a few places. I'm guessing he'll be in 5th or 6th, maybe even 7th when he comes out of the pit. So that gives all the drivers behind him an extra position.
6th place at the moment, so we have to see how this pit stop will go. 3.1 seconds, just a normal online pit stop, as one person was about to overtake him, but we are on board with Silver Arrow now, who already did his pit stop, I think, but I'm not really sure.
Yes, he's on fresh tyres. I think he pitted in the last lap, which is quite interesting, really. I don't know, I might have gambled to go on the options, but there you go.
Yeah, I don't know, I think the options would be not a good choice for the last stint, to be honest. If you see they have to do 5 laps and well, maybe 6, this is his 2nd lap I think on E-Primes, so we had to do like 7 or 6 laps on the options, and that's, you know, maybe just about, but I think it just didn't take the gamble. But he's in the podium position now, and Jasmer is, well, right on his tail, and he's looking to get past really quickly, as he is already on the outside now. Yes, and well, looks like that's moved on already, and yes it is. So that was a nice overtake from Jasmer into the podium positions now. So really nice. And yeah, Silver into P4, also really good from him after that poor qualifying, but wasn't his fault. But yeah, that's a really nice race from Silver Arrow, as we are on board with Diasanya for his final pit stop. Quite late, but I think it's about the right time to qualify as well. No, not to qualify, to pit, because he's rejoining into P5, and that's really good, 10 points.
No, not yet.
So that's really good. And yeah. Looks like this will be his finishing position as well.
Yeah, so 5th place, he's got 5.2 seconds. You say it's his finishing position, but it depends what he can do on those option tyres. Another one on option tyres is Mateus. I can't say his name.
Mateus.
Mateus. Chisimpi, you can be like my sort of walking name dictionary, so that's fantastic. Anyway, he's behind Chicane. For 6th, so it'll be interesting to see if he can catch up him and gain an extra point or so. Go back into standard, on board now with Chicane. This is this section here, or sector 2, is a lot of people would call it a pad sector, because it has similar sort of properties to Silverstone. So if you're on a pad in sector 2, you can often gain on the majority of drivers who are wheel users, and then that leads us on to turn 13 as Matea's going to get DRS and overtake Chicane, and I drop back just a little bit but not too much, and Matea's now right behind Chicane, and he does have DRS, he's activated it, so let's see if he gets Chicane into the hairpin. Does he lock up? This is a key thing. If he locks up, and no he doesn't, he gets it nicely slowed down, hitting the apex, and there we go, move done.
Yeah, P6 for Mateus, as we are now. With Chicane's point of view, he's going to have DRS and using his ridge max to get that 6th position back. But well, he got 2 laps left to do it, so should be right, as Daishenya sets the fastest lap of 1:35 dead, so really nice lap. As we are on board with Silver Arrow, still behind Chesmo, but Chesmo pulled out a little bit of a gap I think around 1 second. Yes, indeed, 1.1 second as he runs wide there. I think he had a lockup, and that allows Silver through into third position.
And that's also, oh sorry MP.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's also allowed Daisanya to possibly have a stab at Chaz here. So I don't think he's going to get DRS. I don't think he was within a second, but he might be. He's gone up into a ridge, and he's got a pretty nice exit as well, so maybe he won't need it.
Yeah, there
let's
we
just
go.
keep an eye on the DRS there. No, he doesn't, but he doesn't need DRS. He's already over 200 miles an hour. He's already over 200 miles an hour, braking at 203 into that hairpin, and move done.
Yeah, really nice for him. He had a really good gears and wings, I think, because he had a lot of speed into the straight. As we are on board with Silver Arrow, I think this will be his finishing position, the podium as well, if he doesn't make a mistake in the last 2 laps, because that would be quite a shame for him to miss out of the podium because of that.
Yeah,
we have to see. Schumacher is almost 3 seconds in front, so if Schumacher can keep that, then he's pretty much saved on a second position. And as you can see on the minimap, the 8 has quite a big lead. I think around 5 seconds, maybe a little bit less.
About that, I think. And let's see, Daisanya does have DRS now. He's going to try and overtake Silver Arrow now for third position, and cutting that corner ever so slightly there is Daisanya. I don't think it's too bad. I have to see if Silver has anything to say about that, but anyway, that's move done, so a half decent move. This time it was with DRS, and that means Daisanya's into third place, and Silver's missing out on the podium unless he can catch him up. On board with Peck on lap 28 now. He's in 10th place, so it hasn't been a brilliant race for him. I think he qualified in 6th, so not the best race for him, but yeah.
Yeah, of course, lost some position with a lockup and going very wide at the hairpin, so he had to recover from that as well. So 10th place is pretty nice for him, as we are on board with Daisanya, and he's closing up to Schumacher quite a bit, going to lean max to save fuel into the in the slipstream, and he can Schumacher if he's lucky, but no, just not enough.
No, not quite enough. DRS doesn't. No. If DRS started here, he could have a chance, but there we go. That's Schumacher in second, Daisanya in third, and we have Silver coming from Mathias.
And Mathias will finish P6, really nice. 7 for Chicane, and I think then P8 for Hamish. He's coming through now. P10 for Peck then, after his little incident. Of course he couldn't do anything about it, but yeah. And if we see now a replay from Hamish overtaking Sobeto in lap 25.
So this is what gave Hamish P8, I think.
Yeah, around the outside actually. Most drivers will take the inside, but apparently Hamish is taking the outside with a bit more grip for the exit, and it worked out pretty good for him into P8, so really nice overtaking there.
This
you
is
see a replay from Jasmer, and he just locked up on the curb, and well, yeah, that's a little bit of a fault from the game, if you ask me. He didn't brake too late, but if you hit a curb and brake like on a curb, you will lock up immediately. So
Shut up.
You now see a replay from Peck. I think he's gonna overtake Sobeto in the upcoming corner. A little bit of lag as well, but he's really close and just takes the inside and moved on for Peck.
So I got him up into 10th place. Anyway, we're going to have a look at the race classification now after 28 laps. We have DH in first, Schumacher in second. Awesome result there for Caterham. You can't get much better. You had a Sauber front row lockout in qualifying, and you have a Caterham, both Caterhams taking first and second in the race. And third we have Daisanya in the first Sauber. Then we have Silver Arrow, Chasm, Mathias, Chicane, Hamish, Zephyr, Peck, That rounds up the top 10. Then missing out on points we have Sorberto, MP Racing, Tarkin, Kiku and Krista. Fastest lap going to Daisanya, and MP Racing is going to take us through the Drivers' Championship.
Yes, we have Chesmer still in first position. He holds on to the lead quite good. We have then Somaker in second, DH in third. He's up a position. Silver Arrow in fourth place. Then in P5 we have that Airways guy. P6 Sever, P7 Chicane. In 8th we have Matthias. Then P9 for Sabero. P10 for Kiku with 8 points, then MP Racing 6 points, Hamish with 4 points and Tarkan with 2 points, then Artos in 14th with 2 points as well, Peck with 1 point and Silver with 0 points because of his disconnects. I think like in every race he had an incident with his connection and that cost him points.
Yeah, very unfortunate when you see things like that, because of course it's not the person's fault, it's partly it's the game's fault, but yeah, anyway, we're going to have a look at the Constructors' Championship. With that sort of 1-2, we see Caterham moving up a position from Williams. By the way, they've moved up from Williams since Australia, not Malaysia. So this is since Australia, the last highlights video. Then we have Toro Rosso in third with 43 points, fairly close to Williams, only 5 points behind. Then we have Ferrari, Red Bull and Mercedes, and McLaren. Mercedes, so I think they're going to be fighting throughout the season. Then we have Sauber only on 6 points. Anyway guys, thanks for watching this Chinese Grand Prix. It was quite entertaining. We had quite a lot of drivers battling throughout the whole of the race. Thank you MP for commentating with me. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, same. It was a really fun race to commentate on. Lots of action, lots of overtaking, and yeah, it was a pleasure to commentate. And I hope you guys enjoy this video, and we will see you at the next race.
Yeah, see you now at the next race in Bahrain. Goodbye.
Goodbye.